It's the new Wabu Order Podcast. We talk to build our culture up, we getting all that. We speak well to eat well, we giving them all facts. So like, share, subscribe if you know that you pro-black. Let's grow.
We are back. Welcome to the new Wabu Order Podcast. I go by the name of Wabu. And you know how I normally do around this time of year, I bring on politicians. And today, this brother right here that's next to me here, I see him putting a lot of work in. So, you know, I had to reach out to him. Phazhon Nash, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm great.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, just everywhere I go, you're either coming up in a conversation or I'm seeing some type of campaign stuff of yours.
Yeah.
And we kind of spoke on this behind the scenes a little bit. How important this is to you? Of course it's important, but like how?
Man, so, the whole, motivation to run for city council really came from Evan Springs.
Okay.
And the decision that was made for that. And I spent a lot of time working for Delegate Sam Rasul. I used to work under him as his community outreach liaison. Shout out Sam. And, I stood in the basement of Williams Memorial Baptist Church and heard like 150 people say, no, we don't want this. And
Evan Springs?
Yeah, Evan Springs. When the company they brought in to consult on what the plan could look like, everyone said, no. The whole process, everyone said, no, we don't want it. And then council votes on it. Yes. and it's like, come on now. That ain't how it should be. But the last straw kind of where this real motivation came from was my grandmother. I moved in to take care of her. She had dementia and Alzheimer's and like kidney disease, diabetes, like everything. Yeah. Had toes amputated, everything.
Sorry.
And so I was like, Gang. I called her Gang. Yeah. I was like, Gang, I'm frustrated. I'm this, I'm that. And she was like, don't talk about it. Do something about it. She said, too many times people talk about it.
Yes.
And they don't ever do nothing to really fix it.
Yes.
And she was like, he's going to talk about it, you're going to try to fix it.
So that's your introduction to politics?
Yeah, that was really what, I'd always had a kind of like an interest in it because I understand how politics affects people's lives. Mm-hmm. But to run for city council, it was that conversation with her. And so I decided to run, was preparing for my campaign and everything. I announced it in January of 24. She passed away in February. Man. A month, I announced on January 6th, she passed away February 3rd.
Oh, but at least she knew.
Yeah, she knew.
That she was, okay.
She knew.
Okay.
She knew.
Okay.
And so that right there, anytime I do something, I give it like everything I got.
Yes.
Which is why, thank God I've been, successful because I put in the work. I've done everything I can. I put the rest in the Lord's hands. But when she passed away, man, the fire, that fire was just like, So since that day, everything has just been completely focused on winning.
And you running for city council.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please explain to the people what does city council actually do?
Yeah. So city council has a few distinctive roles. Number one, and the one I think most people know city council for, is controlling the city's budget. Mm-hmm. They decide and vote on how much funds are going to be spent on certain departments, certain initiatives, certain programs that are coming into the city. Another thing that the city council most notably does, they make appointments. So they appoint the city manager, who is responsible for controlling all of the various city departments and making sure that the vision of council is coming to fruition.
So the people don't vote the city manager. Mm-mm. The city council does. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. City council does. There's some other appointed positions, like a lot of our boards and commissions. Like I sit on the Roanoke Equity and Empowerment Advisory Board. That's appointed by council. You have like the Civic Center Board. That's appointed by council. So there's a ton. Parks and Rec Advisory Board. That's appointed by city council. Okay. So, they go and they take applications. They review your applications and they put the best people, they're supposed to put the best people on those boards, to oversee and advise the operations of the Parks and Rec Department, make sure things are equitable in our city, all those sort of little nuances that go on. Yep.
Yes.
And they appoint school board members too. in our
Okay.
city. As of now, they appoint school board members.
Okay, so how you feel about, since you just brought the school board thing up,
Yeah.
if Trump wins,
Mhm.
and he's in town today, he's literally in town. I just drove by it.
You didn't say
I don't really want to say what it looked like.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna say it. This is me. This is Wabu.
Yeah.
It looked like a Klan rally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's in town and he was talking about. Actually, I could be wrong. Like finishing the school system, something like that. Like,
Yeah. Like getting rid of the Department of Education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he just blowing smoke up his own ass, or is it possible a president can do that?
It's possible. He could. And some of the most notable, because I've had some people in the community ask me about it. And the chances of it happening are slim, even if he got elected, right? The chances of it happening are slim. But the fact that he could do it, number one, my first thought goes to public funding going to private schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's already a discrepancy between the quality of education, unfortunately, between public schools and private schools.
Of course.
It already is.
Yes.
It's a huge difference.
Yes,
and you know, we all know that.
Yes.
But we're taking taxpayer dollars now and we're diverting that to private schools.
And when did
How
this
big
start?
is that divide?
I
don't know.
Found out about that.
I don't know when this whole get rid of the Department of Education rhetoric started. I have no idea when that started, how it started. I understand, like, get rid of standardized testing. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing. But, like, the whole department, even, like, kids with IEPs. I had an IEP growing up in school. I have a reading disability that I was diagnosed with.
Okay.
And so, like, kids with IEPs, that would, or kids with just very special needs in school, it would take away those advantages or those accommodations to help level the playing field for them.
Yes.
So when we talk about, you know, students that already live in disenfranchised, low income areas, already have all these barriers against them.
Yes.
Then we take away all the precautions and all the requirements and things that try to, it's not perfect system, but it tries to make it more level.
Yes.
You take all that away, I mean,
Yes.
what's going to happen? So
You like, I never knew about the school system thing.
yeah,
And like, I'm just literally finding out. And let me tell you something about me. I'm not a Republican or Democrat, right? But I'm for the best interest of my people.
yeah,
Like, I literally want to see tangibles.
yeah.
So, and I'm more into local politics
Oh yeah,
than the president, because that's what's going to affect us.
100%.
Like, off rip.
100%.
I really don't care if it's Trump, or I would like Cornel West to win. But I know he don't have a chance in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I had a few people come to me outside of Kroger's. They like, sign this
But that's
petition.
who I'm voting for.
Yeah, they like,
I'm
get him on the
actually voting
ballot.
for
They like, get him on the
Cornel
ballot.
West.
Yeah.
But I see some things with Kamala I don't like, and I see some things with Trump I don't like. Racism is a big thing
Yeah.
on both sides, because I don't believe you're black just because you're in a fraternity.
Right.
Like Kamala, people saying she's black because she was in a fraternity. I don't
Right.
think going to a HBCU make you black.
Yep.
Because then that means Rachel Dolezal will be black.
Yep.
So this is a hard presidency to pick. And I'm definitely not with the lesser of two evils. I think that is ridiculous. We've been saying that too long.
Yeah.
The lesser of two evils. We need to stop that. I know that's our older generation. They done passed that down to the kids.
Right.
The lesser two evils. How about no evils? How about sit on the couch? You gonna be okay. And I ain't with the boogeyman thing, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
If we don't vote for this person, all is lost, we're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, that's one thing that, you know, a lot of people, and, you know, we get into the national stuff, but a lot of people are like, oh, if Trump wins, we'll never have another election again. And I'm like, y'all don't understand how, you know, at the end of the day, like Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. When the insurrection happened January 6th, you know, I forget what year it was when the insurrection happened. But, you know, like Mike Pence, who was his own vice president, was like, hey, I'm not going with you on this one.
Yes.
Like, nah, like this is too much. Like,
a lot of people stepped away from him.
Yeah.
From
And
his
so I'm
rhetoric.
like, you know, at the end of the day, Democrat, Republicans, I still say this one thing about Americans. Americans love being Americans, and Americans love their country. We love, we at the end of the day, and it's not perfect. No country's perfect, but the pride that I think everyone takes in it. I just think that the thought of if he wins, we're never going to have an election. He's going to, our entire democracy is going to fail.
He's going to become
I'm like,
king
no, like it's like we have too many checks and balances.
Yes.
We have too many, I don't know. We have too many protocols in place to prevent that.
His ego, though, he might try it.
Oh yeah, he would try it.
With his ego, I could see that he's done things other presidents haven't done without action. Congress got to pass almost everything. He's done things without even going to Congress.
Yeah.
I wish Obama could have done that. And there's one thing that I always champion for is reparations. It's needed. It's not a handout or nothing like that. When people say it's a handout, so then you never sued nobody. So if you get into a car accident, you're gonna say, nah, that's a handout.
Yeah.
You don't want your money.
Yeah.
We need our reparations.
Yep.
Every other group got their reparations, including white people got reparations. So why we can't get reparations? Some people got it in different things. We gave trillions of dollars to Ukraine, but then when it comes to foundational Black Americans, they say that we don't have no more money, or it would ruin the world. They said the world giving us our reparation. No, we need our chips with dip. We need that.
That's one of the things I've talked about here at the local level. We were at the Evan Springs Forum back in August, and they had a question about reparations. And I was the only one that had a real, that's just what people in the audience said. You had, only one had a real plan. But for example, we're talking about like local reparations, because like I know for a fact my family was displaced from Northeast when urban renewal came through.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like my grandma and grandpa met because they were living in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, so my family was displaced from that, right? My great grandmother, was in Lincoln Terrace forever, right? And after that, all she did was rent. My grandma, the house I live in now, she was the first person in our family to buy a home. Only 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Only 20 years ago. And after that, my mom has brought her home. But when we talk about reparations at the local level, I look at things like, you have the Grandin Business Association, like the Grandin, this area, has a business association.
Yes, sir.
They do the streetscaping. They do changing the themes for the different holidays. They do the chillage. They do all types of things to attract business and people into this area and keep this area looking nice.
Yes, sir.
But business associations don't get any money from the city. All that comes from the businesses putting into the pot and using that money. And they get grants and things like that. Yeah. But, it comes, from everyone putting their money in the pot. For certain areas, maybe, let's say the example I always use is Melrose Corridor. Yeah. A Melrose Business Association in the city as a form of reparations says, hey, this is an area of town where, it's in Northwest. A lot of our Black residents live here. What we gonna do is create y'all a business association, and we gonna put, unlike the other business associations, we're gonna put X amount of dollars in it every year. And the businesses in the area, they can also contribute as well. But we're gonna put X amount in that pot every year for y'all to use for streetscaping, street maintenance, putting on events to attract people and businesses into the area. That's the way to help foster that business community. And we can do that down the whole stretch of Melrose. And there's other areas there's other areas around town that we could do that in too.
Only thing that I know it would be hard because these businesses in Black neighborhoods, none of them are Black people. So yes, they will come in the neighborhood and take our money. But to give back to the neighborhood that they're getting money, making sure their kids eat, go to school and everything else, they won't. Think of a Chinese restaurant. They wouldn't give a red cent. A lot of Arab businesses, they're not going to give a red cent. Now we have a lot of Mexican businesses. They're going to say, hey, we got our own community. We just come in this community because it's liquid cash. We know these people are going to take care of us in this community, but they're not going to turn around and take care of them. So That's the only thing I have with that. Now, I can see where you say the city will give, as a form of reparations, the business association some money. But the actual businesses, I know they're not going to give nothing. But I know they're not going to leave.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave because this is what will pay us. We love in the Black community to give our money to everyone.
Yeah.
It like turns us on.
Yeah.
As far as Black people, soon as I get my check, I gotta go. Give it all away.
I'm shopping. Yep.
Yes, I have to give it all away to people who don't look like me, to people who don't live in this community, and that's not racism. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
I wish we could see things better.
Yep.
I don't know how that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because we got our elders that's telling us, oh, that's racist if you're saying you want a better community.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's demonic.
Yeah.
If you're saying you want a better community and your elders is telling you you shouldn't have a better community.
Yeah.
You should just basically keep being a slave in this community, getting paid and giving it away.
Yep. Just live your life day to day. Just live your life.
I've been living my life. I gets me a good job and you know, I got a job paying $19 an hour. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's too much of a limit in our community. Now the mindset has to change because we have that limit. Yeah. Like no one wants to go beyond that.
Yeah. And I think it will change. I mean, I think it is changing. I mean, I know I see a lot of people my age, you know, in my generation, there's a lot more talks of, you know, being entrepreneurs, you know, starting generational wealth. There's a lot of people my age that are doing things or finally having those conversations. And right now, they might just be more conversations and actions. But at least now,
it has to start somewhere.
Exactly. Now it's conversations like, how do you buy a duplex? It's like how do people be buying up the plazas? Like, how do you buy a plaza and rent it out for people to, like, now people are finally, at least in my generation, and my friends, they're starting to have those conversations.
And that's what I love about your generation. Number one, it's the information age. So
100%.
Versus my generation, we didn't know.
Right.
All we knew was like a good job.
Yeah.
We didn't know these things. Like I'm seeing people on Facebook, for instance, talking about stocks and bonds. And I'm like, wow. Like we never knew stocks and bonds. We thought that was just a rich people thing. We didn't know. We just talking about Bitcoin and all things that we've never been into. Yeah. But now with this whole information thing, we're really getting into it.
Yeah.
And you just said, in your generation, you're the youngest candidate running for city council.
Yep, I'm the youngest to run. We're run currently. The youngest ever to run was a guy. He was like 19. He was independent a few years ago.
Okay.
But so technically, he's the youngest to ever run. He was independent. So then the Democratic Party, I'm the youngest to ever run.
Wow.
And in June, when I won the Democratic primary, I came in first.
Wow.
I came in first. And I was the youngest to ever win a party primary, period.
Wow.
I was 24. My birthday's in July. And so...
Nah, y'all gotta clap your hands to that, man, out there, man. Y'all gotta give this young brother some props and tell him your age.
25.
25 years old. And he's running for city council, y'all. That alone right there, like what I said, that's changing the conversation lexicon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people your age can see, oh, I went to school with him. Oh, I know him. Yeah. He's my age.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing, you know how normally we see somebody 80 years old.
Right, they like 56, 57.
That's a good thing to stay in, showing people that they can get into local politics. And that's amazing. You being so young and this is what you want to do. you have to come from good stock to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Granny did her job.
Yeah.
What you call her, gran?
Gang.
Gang.
Yeah,
She
gang.
did her job because
my papa.
Yeah.
My grandfather, I call him papa.
All right, they did their job because most people, not kids, people your age, you know, they might want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they want to be a gang member.
Yeah.
I ain't never see a successful gang member.
Nah.
Like that never happened.
No.
So you're showing them different things. Like I said, our communities, they could get better if, number one, we stop moving out of our community. Y'all get a couple of dollars and y'all run to raggedy ass Salem.
That brain
and all of these other places.
Yeah.
So now kids don't see. Like if you see like, oh, I know Mr. Smith, he's a dentist. Miss Johnson, she's a doctor. She live across the street. This is motivation for the kids in these neighborhoods.
That's how it used to be back in the day.
Exactly.
Back in the day when you had like Gainesboro and Henry Street and everything, like at its peak, you had black excellence.
Yes.
You go to the doctor's office, everyone in there looked like you.
Yes.
Everyone in there.
And that means something.
Yes, it means something.
Means something.
And that's my favorite thing. When I'm knocking doors, I can't tell you how many times. And I always tell people, you know, my campaign, because after November, I could be the only black person on city council. The only black person. And so I always tell people my campaign's a little bit different than y'all's. Because I got the community that is looking to me to be like, hey, and my favorite thing.
As they should.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I tell them my campaign got a lot of intangibles. Because when I go and talk to someone's grandma, they be like, how old are you? I be like, I'm 25. She'd be like, Javion, come here. And a 16-year-old dude, 15-year-old dude comes to the door. She'd be like, this Mr. Nash. I'd be like, man, call me Phazhon. And she'd be like, he running for city council. I'd be like, how old are you? He'd be like, 15. I'd be like, 10 years. Fly by like that.
Yes.
10 years fly by like that. You don't know what you can be doing. And so these kids, you know, and you know, doing events in the community, when people, you know, I see these kids, and like you're saying, they look, and I'm like, dang, like that's what it's about right there, setting the standard, helping to be an example. And you know, my number is everywhere. On every piece of lit I got, my phone number's on there. My website, my phone number's on there. Like Facebook, phone number's on there. Like I always tell people, my phone number is the best way to contact me. And if you reach out, it might be a few hours, but I'm gonna get back with you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get back with you.
It's kind of hard for me to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
But so I know this is cutting it close right now. It's Monday, right?
The election?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Okay. Yep. That's the 5th.
5th. Yep.
Okay. So we got to the 5th to get you in there.
Yeah, but the last day of early voting was today.
Okay.
So the next chance to vote is Tuesday, November 5th, from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And where the people can go to vote if they don't know.
So it'll be like their normal polling locations. And so every precinct, Roanoke City has 20 voting precincts, and every precinct has a location where you go to vote. And so, you know, you can go to, you know, like vote at Virginia, vote.virginia.com or .org, and you can Google it. And it's like iwillvote.com. Like it's so many websites now where you just type in your address and it'll show you exactly where you go. So,
because I know it was a problem, issues for certain people, like just a lot of misinformation was brought out there about, hey, you got to go here, or telling people, oh, you vote on this day, not that, like, you know. And that's been going on forever. To trick the people.
And information does change. I mean, stuff changes. I mean, I be telling people, I meet someone, they'll be like, I'm not registered to vote. And I'd be like, are you registered to vote because of like a felony, or are you just not registered because you just never registered? And they're like, no, I just never registered. And I'm like, we got same day registration in Virginia now. Okay. And they're like, what? I'm like, so you can go, you cannot be registered. Go to the not the registrar's office, excuse me, but you can go to any voting location on election day and be like, hey, I want to register to vote and vote today. You'll find out, you'll fill out a voter registration form. You gotta, of course, have your ID.
Like, how does...
You can't have a felony. Yeah.
That's within the last certain amount of time, 5-10 years?
No, so actually, ironically, Virginia is one of the few states where you don't, if you have a felony, once you're released from, you're, serving your time and you're off probation and parole and, everything is good, you don't automatically get your rights back. It's only like 3 or 4 states out of the 50 that still have an application process.
You get it back in due time, like a couple of years or something like that. I think it's about 5 years or something like that.
Nah, I believe you have to apply
to get it back.
I don't think there's a time. I mean, I could be wrong. I'll verify that to make sure, because I could be wrong.
Yes.
But I always thought it was all based off you filling out an application.
Yeah.
Filling out an application that you can get online. Because I've sent a few guys, the link to the website where you go and do it. It's an application you fill out, and the secretary of the governor, checks you out, make sure you're good, and then it goes before the governor, and then he has to sign it.
Okay. And
then that's how you get your right restored. But they can also be like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's very subjective, which is why a lot of states now, like, if you're good, and I'm one of the people, quite frankly, I believe, just me personally, I'm like, if you commit a felony or not, you're still an American.
Yeah.
We all know how that, how they, tweaked the amendments and tweaked the law, when they created the police force and started giving black people crimes, to take our rights to vote away. So it's a real, racist system that was set up.
Yes.
And so, and that system is still lingering to this day.
Yeah.
And so a lot of states have rectified that. In some states, I believe it's Vermont, you can vote from jail.
Yeah, but Vermont is only like 2% black.
Yeah.
So they figured that way out. Well, you're not going to be able to cause too much of an uproar.
Yeah.
So states like Vermont, I think, was Utah is like 2% black, Montana, places like that.
And you can vote like from
Montana, you could be a felon and still always carry a gun.
Okay.
But it's 3 black people in Montana.
Yeah.
So
he said 3.
Yeah. So these places got that. But like he said, man, please go out and vote, especially locally.
Yeah.
This is what I always push, local voting. It'd be ridiculous. We don't be showing up to these local precincts.
Yeah.
And doing these, getting this voting going on. Please, like I said, please go out and vote. And do your research on the candidates that you're voting for. Sometimes people might just vote down.
Yeah.
Vote down Democrat, vote down Republican. It's cool to say, I shared more views over here, or I share the views over there. That's cool to do that. I know it's tradition, my people, to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
It's tradition. But we need to kind of get off that. We have to, like I said, do the research and get the best person in there as possible.
Yeah. And I always tell people, like, do your research. People ask me, about the candidates. I say everyone's name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think, my policy, my priorities, people ask me questions. I feel like I can, sit down and have a conversation with anyone about anything. So I'm confident in where I stand. I don't need to try to, throw dirt on no one else's name to try to make myself shine. I don't need to do that. So I'm going to tell you about all the candidates, and, go from there. But I always tell people too, try to figure out these people's character.
Yes, sir.
Because you might have you might have a difference of opinion on how certain funds should be used, right? But at the end of the day, you need to know if someone's a good person, right? You never really know that, but you need to have confidence in the character of the person you're voting for, because that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you get in there, because I believe you're going to get in there, let's get that Orange Avenue turned to Martin Luther King Boulevard. I need that going. I need that going on. I know before it was in talks a few years ago.
Orange Avenue to Martin Luther King Boulevard?
Yeah. It was,
really?
Yeah, it was in talks. This was probably 10 years ago. I remember it was in talks. I remember it was certain people saying, if they do that, we're not going to drive down Orange Avenue no more. So?
You ain't going to get nowhere then.
Yeah, so don't drive down Orange Avenue. Let's get that going to Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Yeah.
But Phazhon Nash, this is a good brother. He's a young brother, and he's still growing. And he's still learning. But I dig his conversation, and I dig what he's about. So I endorse him. Please vote for him. And I still got love for everybody else. You know, Nick is my man, Nick Hagan.
Yeah.
I like Nick. Please vote for Nick too.
Yep.
Or vote for whoever that you decide. All right? Remember where y'all heard his first new Wabu Order Podcast. Remember, the fight is fixed. If you speak well, you eat well. Let's grow.
It's the new Wabu Order Podcast. We talk to build our culture up, we get into all that. We speak well to eat well, we giving them all facts. So like, share, subscribe if you know that you pro-black. Let's grow.